Hey guys, Zerkaa here, and welcome back to my Millwall Career Mode series. And I'm actually really enjoying playing my Career Mode series right now. I actually pulled myself away from the Xbox just to stop playing because I didn't want to get too far ahead last night. Because I was playing, I was really enjoying myself, and I was like, I need to stop playing just so I don't get too far ahead. So I don't, because I think sometimes if I get too far ahead with recording, I kind of lose track of what's going on properly. Where if at the moment where I've been doing it. Like I'm only like 1 or 2 games ahead, so I know exactly, like my thought process is still the same. Where if I'm miles ahead, I already know that maybe like I'm going to get promoted, or I'm going to like get relegated, or where I'm going to finish. I already know what's going to happen. So then the way I put my thoughts across to you isn't the same as how it would be if I was only a game ahead. Anyway, enough of that long intro. I'm just looking at my scout reports there, and you can see. My English scout, actually, like the scout who was in England, pulled back some interesting players with high maximum potentials of over 90. So decided I was going to go look into them for another month. I was inclined to sign them straight away, but I decided against it purely because sometimes they have those maximum potentials of 93, and then you sign them, and suddenly they just drop to maximum potential of 70, and you're like, alrighty then. So the more you scout into them, the more accurate that result will be. However, you do run the risk of someone else snapping them up before you get them. So that's a risk I'm taking at the moment. But we go into our first game here against Chelsea. Now, I've seen a lot of comments in the last video and past couple of videos where I started to go on a bit of a win streak in the Premiership, and I started to do half decent in the Premiership. People are saying that I should increase the difficulty of my career mode. I understand the reason behind that, and I understand that I guess seeing someone win a lot, like more often than not, can become somewhat boring, I guess. This isn't. I don't know if it's a popular opinion amongst everyone or not. Just look at that goal there. That was so annoying, that goal. So Ramirez, I think he headed it, and then Cragno saved it, and it fell into like a Corey who fell over the goalkeeper and put it in. Anyway, we're going back to this whole debate over changing the difficulty. The reason why I'm strongly against changing difficulty to legendary. It's currently on world class. Anyone who doesn't know, that just seems to be the general consensus of anyone who does the career mode series. That is the general consensus of what difficulty is used. So that's why I replicated that and copied that. And first of all, first season, I struggled with it. Obviously, I had a pretty weak team with Millwall, and we didn't do that well in the league. And then the second, we started off really badly, and then we started to do better towards the end of the season. Then the second season, we actually got into playoffs and we got promoted to the Premiership. And in the Premiership, we started off and we struggled. And then we started doing well towards the end of the season. And now this season, we're doing well. And the reason why I wouldn't change difficulty is because then there's no clear sign of progression. The current way everything's set out, we've actually progressed. We've got better as a team. And if I went up to difficulty, up the difficulty now, it wouldn't be up. You wouldn't be able to see that my team's got better because I would end up starting to lose, and then that would then be then I'd have to eventually improve again. I guess I'd understand if I win the title and I win everything. Then maybe I would up difficulty, because then it'd be no. Then up in difficulty would then add longevity to the series. Where if I was to increase difficulty now, it's going to just stop me from actually doing well with this team, because the whole idea at the moment is my team is really good. My out front is solid. My defence is now actually kind of solid. I've got everything on lock. I like all my players in my team. I haven't really got any positions that I really want to improve. Maybe the goalkeeper here and there, but I do. Cragno has been good for me, to be fair, even though his stats don't say that. And obviously, there's obviously a few. You can always improve in different positions. But my up front, the whole Benzia, Piazon, and Vidal together as that triangle at the front is just immense. I've never played three better players altogether. So I'm not going to be up in difficulty. So anyone who said that, that is the reason why. Because I like the whole idea that I've progressed every season. Every season I've got better. Obviously, throughout that time as well, I probably got better against playing against the computer. But then again, as I said, it always shows there's been a clear sign of progression throughout. Where if I change it now, it'd be like I've progressed and then I've got worse. And there could be even a chance, I don't know how hard legendary is. There could be a chance I even get relegated or anything. So it's just not worth running the risk. And I don't really think it's necessary right now. Maybe, as I said, if I was to go ahead and win the Premiership, win the Cup, win the Champions League, if I meet my objectives, then maybe I will do so to elongate the series and make it longer, if that's what people want. So anyway, we'll go back into actually reporting about the actual gameplay and what's going on. As you saw, we lost against Chelsea, so we kind of brought back down to reality again by the bigger teams in this league. So as much as we're doing well, we're better than the smaller teams, it seems that the bigger teams are giving us a hard time. Bigger teams so far being Norwich for some reason and Chelsea. And I made a mistake in the previous episode, actually. I said that in the quarterfinal that I'd have a second leg in the Capital One Cup. I actually made a mistake with that because I forgot that it's actually the Capital One Cup doesn't actually have a second leg. It's only the semi-final that has a second leg. So that is my bad there. So we're actually knocked out of the Capital One Cup. But Chelsea seem to be a very solid side. I think they seem to be doing very well so far this season. But we're going to this game obviously against Wigan here, and we're currently winning 3-1, as you can see. And again, we're doing very well against these lower rated teams in the league. So we're definitely in between the top 6 and the rest. There's a gap that we're currently in between them. So there's maybe some improvements in January, and we can push into that top 6. I also have to be very wary that my squad isn't very big. So when it comes down to injuries, which I've been very lucky with so far this season, touch wood, I haven't really had any big injuries so far. So obviously if Vidal gets injured, Piazon gets injured, I haven't got good enough replacement strikers. So that's what, maybe in January, maybe need to strengthen my squad. But also there's other things I need to be worrying about. I'm sorry I'm not really talking about the gameplay. I'm kind of just like gone off on a tangent, but I'm enjoying talking about it. So also when it comes into January, is I have to be aware of a certain thing that I've noticed recently. Certain players pulled out on it, is that contracts, and loads of you guys have said it as well. Players want new contracts. So I've got maybe some players that I signed a year ago, 2 years ago, like these Benzias and these Vidals. I signed them on contracts with reasonably low wages, where I signed them in the Championship. And now we're in the Premiership and we're doing well, and they've probably gone up at plus 10 in their ratings, half of them, not even half of them, some of them even. They want almost I've had players currently on £3,000 per week that want to go up to £25,000 per week, and I'll show you some of that in the future episodes. I'll try and make sure I can include those highlights in when I see them. So that's also a worry. So I need to be careful with my spending. Obviously, I'm going to request for funds in January, regardless of whatever happens now. So I need to be careful with my spending with that, because I can spend money on players, but then I can end up losing players that I actually want to keep because I can't afford their wages. So I need to do some budget allocating and make sure that I increase my wage budget here and there, so I can accommodate to these players that want wage increases. For example, a good example that I'll probably use, you'll see it in a future episode, is Dement says he's currently on £500 per week. He's still on his basically his youth contract that I signed him on. But obviously, where he's now a 70 rated player, or higher, whatever it's 74 or 75, he wants an actual proper contract now. And obviously, I'm going to be able to offer him it. But then I'm thinking about players like Vidal, thinking about how much money he's going to want, how much money Piazon's going to want, how much money Benzio's going to want. So add all those together, and I've got a serious wage budget on my hands. So I need to be careful of that. So obviously, as we saw, we won the game against Wigan, and we're now in a game against Bolton. And again, we're doing very well. You see that we're currently winning 2-1. Just hit the crossbar there. Vidal hitting the crossbar. And Vidal has recently, I think Piazon picked up a hat-trick in the last game. I'm pretty sure it was the last game he picked up a hat-trick in. But Bolton gave us a pretty solid game, to be fair, not going to lie. I think Bolton was more of a tougher opponent compared to the other games I've had recently. I mean, I probably did deserve to win by more goals. I mean, you've seen that I squandered quite a lot of chances that you've probably seen. I had rebounds that's just fallen into my feet, and I haven't got it in the goal that you just saw there. I had a couple of chances that I probably should have put away. An interesting thing is if you look at the player statistics on the top right hand side, Vidal, Piazon and Benzia all in the top 4 of the top goal scorers in the league. I've scored 48 goals, got goal difference of plus 25 already. We're still sitting in that 7th place. We seem to have completely accommodated that space as ours for some reason. I mean, that just seems to be us. So we're now into the period where the interesting time comes in. Now it's transfer market, and that's where loads of you guys get excited, and I do as well. I love it when you're actually playing it and you're like, transfer time, and we start off and we get an offer for Kragner, which is interesting, from Liverpool for 900k above his current valuation. But obviously I'm going to reject that because he's pretty much my only goalkeeper that I've got right now. I guess I could have accepted it and then hoped that I could have signed the goalkeeper straight away. We'll see. But Kragno is improving as it goes along, and I'm not really willing to sell him. Again, my youth squad came in with some more reports of players. A pretty poor player. No, they're my actual youth squad. So see, my actual maximum potential of a lot of my players has gone down. So I released quite a lot of them. I think I actually released all of them in the end. But anyway, yeah, the transfer window will be covered in the next episode. Probably won't be signing any players. Potentially, the only players that will be signing is a goalkeeper, but we'll see if I get any interesting offers from my players, see if anyone wants Vidal, see what kind of money that players that are going to be my players actually worth. Obviously, they have their valuations, but typically, if the player's in good form and playing well and has a lot of years on his contract still, they're likely to get offers almost sometimes double their value, or you can actually get them double their value anyway. But yeah, that's the end of today's episode. If you enjoyed, and please do leave a like. If you have any feedback to give, any comments, please do leave a comment about that. And if you want to check out my Ultimate Team series, there's a link on the left hand side of the screen. And if you want to check out my second channel, which has quite a few videos planned on it at the moment, click on the right hand side of the screen. And I shall see you guys next time. Goodbye.